I heard about Pathway through a member at our church, and our son-in-law had made a room in his garage, and we had one window in it, and we lived there, and then they had a child coming, and then we had to find another place to live because there's...
I found out how terrible people could be when they offer to help you, like, say, because I wasn't on nothing but welfare. So I would only receive like, $102 every 2 weeks. So they would say, well, you only have to give us $50 for 2 weeks. But they had other things in mind. I paid $300 rent, and then just because they gave me another $200 check, wasn't even a month went by, and I gave her $300, and she sit there and say, rent is due again. There's a lot of predators out there. I found that the woman was putting Seroquel in my coffee whenever I would get my medication. And I used to wonder why every time I got my check and my medication, how come I would be robbed? Well, I keep getting robbed.
Almost. Through the rescue mission, the Diameter rescue mission.
I come to the church through the Salvation Army. I was laid off from work and on the verge of being thrown out through my landlord. He continuously wanted to raise my rent.
I was working at Muhlenberg College for like 4 or 5 years. I got laid off. Actually, I got hurt on the job. Then I got laid off. And I fell behind on my rent. I was collecting unemployment. Fell behind on my rent. Bottom line, landowners get ready to pull me out. I had a seizure last year. And we took her to the doctor, and they said she had some kind of netting over her brain that was producing fluid. And she needed like $700 a month in medication. And we couldn't afford it.
A friend of mine did tell me that she had went to them. Well, with my husband, he broke his leg February, and at the present time that he broke his leg, I was also out of work at the point of time. So our bills and our rent pretty much kind of accumulated. I was actually being evicted from my home.
I heard of the Conference of Churches program that I'm in, the homeless relocation program, through word of mouth. I was kind of in a tough position, I guess, at the time. I came home from the United States Army in early '06. After a while, I found myself homeless.
I had left one job to continue another job, thought it was my dream job. 20 days after I gained willful employment, I was in a car accident which knocked me out of my job. I didn't make my 90-day probation period, so I lost my job, lost everything I had within a matter of months, and became homeless. And
I went down a career link seeking employment. I glanced over and I seen this pamphlet for Lehigh County Conference of Churches, and I had told him that I had lost my job and I was behind on my rent, and I was being evicted, me, my daughter, and my grandson.
In a shelter, and she was staying with family. The shelter had referred me to Lehigh Conference of Churches. The house that we were living in was deemed condemned after my landlord moved to Dominican Republic.
I got help assistance with my resume that helped me make it better, help with paying my rent. I got emotional help.
Through Pathway, we got to them in Allentown and found a place to live with more windows in the home.
Helped to pay the security deposit. We didn't have no way to get it, and we appreciated it a lot.
They told me I could basically come down there and talk with them when I was having a problem. Even if they couldn't help me with financially or whatever, they at least would listen to me and be an ear, or would be somebody that I could talk to try to give me some guidance. And that was very important to me. And that's what I think I needed the most, And I needed a push. I needed to be pushed. I needed to be encouraged, and I needed to know that somebody really cared about people out there.
The help I received from Catholic Conference of Churches is the homeless relocation assistance. The program I was involved with assisted me in finding an apartment, helped me with the initial down payment, and just continue to provide assistance.
The grade I said, they helped me out, the problems, physical health problems, housing.
Came in through the linkage program. And upon being in the linkage program, they directed me to places where I could get help and assist me through my physical needs because of my injuries that I sustained from a car accident.
Okay, the resources that I was given by Lehigh Conference of Churches was I was introduced to Pathways, and I was given a caseworker that helped me with getting an apartment, diapers and dishes and furniture, just common household goods.
So when we went to Pathways, the caseworker, she got us some help through Lehigh Valley Hospital. We wouldn't have got nothing because when she called doctors, neurologists, they wanted like $150 just to talk to her. We called several private doctors. They couldn't see her. And my unemployment was too high to get any kind of help from a lot of different organizations that I called. Yes, I was caught between a rock and a hard place because my unemployment was too high to get any kind of medication, but it was too low where I couldn't afford none.
If it wasn't for the help of Lehigh County Conference of Churches, me and my family would have been evicted from our home. They provide you with everyday uses that you need as far as toothbrushes, toothpaste, soaps, shampoos, shavers, diapers. They even give you diapers and wipes when they do have it. And that is a really big help.
And also I was telling her that my daughter had went and did the program for her GED, and I was asking her, did they have funds to help her out to take the exam, and she had told me about another program they had, and they helped her out also with a GED to take her exam. And also she's seeking, employment also through the Lehigh Valley Conference of Churches. So it has been a big help.
Actually, we got two windows now. We only had one before. We have our own privacy.
We have a window in our bedroom a nice big window, and you can look out and see the cars and see the stores because they're right in town. And needless to say, it's nice.
It's taken a lot of stress off of me, a load's been lifted off my shoulders. I'm able to concentrate more on finding a job, getting more resumes out there, and just flooding Allentown and the surrounding through this program. A lot less worry.
So it helped me out a whole lot. Well, it changed my life in a big way because it kept me off the street. I didn't know where I was going to go. And if they hadn't helped me with my rent, I probably would have been out on the street or had.
Well, yes, it's helped me very much. I'd probably still be struggling right now trying to come up with the rent money and stuff. I was actually I was working at the time, and then I got laid off. The company I was working for moved to Mexico, and I got another job, and I just got laid off again. The economy is not helping me in this situation, so I don't know. I just recently got a new job about 3 weeks ago, and I'm behind on a lot of bills, and they're gonna help me out and try to get me back to square one. Right.
It has changed because I went from being homeless to actually having a home and being able to now support my family as far as both my children and my husband and myself. It's a fresh start for everyone.
I would have been out in the street. I would have been out, I'm grateful that I went down to Korea Link and I seen that sign that says Lehigh County Conference of Churches. If it wasn't for that day that I chose to go down to Korea Link, I would have never found out about this program. It changed my life. I have a peace of mind. My rent is paid. I know I have a roof over my head, my daughter, I and my grandson. I can go out there and look for employment, you know, without having the thought that I'm going to lose my apartment if I don't pay my rent. It's already paid for. My daughter's getting her GED through the program. I'm very grateful for that.
They give me my little job, and I do it, but little by little I notice myself coming out of that shell of not letting people in, you know, keeping them away. Now I speak. You know, I would say, how you doing, Miss So-and-so, or Mr. So-and-so? Or how you doing, Sarah? Before I would never speak, you know, I'm so withdrawn, you know. And so my self-esteem has risen some. It really, you know, it's risen some. And I like to volunteer. I might would do more.
Thank God for the campus of churches. If it's going to be by them, I'll probably be who knows where, so.
I would have probably been out in the street in the shelter with my daughter and my grandson. And I, you know, as a man, I think I would have lost it. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thanks.
I was considering, I was at my peak where I was on top of the A Street Bridge thinking, this is the end. It's got to be a better way. I'm at the end. I had no money, no support. Meds were stolen. I had my medication stolen. I had to recuperate that. I had all my ID was stolen. I was a nobody. I was a John Doe. The linkage program, which helped me obtain some of my ID back so I could feel like a human being again. But prior to that, I was a nobody. And so when you get to the point of a breaking point where you're like, hey, this is it. My ID was stolen. My medication was stolen. I'm homeless. I have no job. I'm waiting for disability, which could take up to 2 or 3 years. How do you live? And that's why we need the funding, and we need more support groups like the linkage program to continue.